all the news from WTCN TV's expanded news gathering facility.
WTCN TV, Channel 11.
This is KARE 11 News at 10.
I'd never do it again. Never.
They can take you for a real ride.
Yeah.
This Twin Cities couple lost their car when they couldn't repay a loan they took out at a pawn shop. Small wonder the annual interest rate was 361%. Pawn shops are popping up all across Minnesota's landscape for reasons that are pretty easy to understand.
Owners are doing big business, and critics say most of that trade comes at the expense of gamblers who are in over their heads. Well, a new generation of pawn shop owners is working hard to change the industry's image. Maybe you've noticed their stores opening in prosperous suburban retail areas with neatly displayed merchandise. But behind the fresh facade, are pawn shops still taking advantage of people who are desperate for dollars? Here's KARE 11's Mark Daly.
We got a lot of nice stuff, really good deals.
I'm selling it for a third of the appraised value.
Wedding rings.
You're gonna put 80 on it?
Yeah.
Normally, okay. That won't even give you really 30 days.
Grandma's good silver.
There you go.
Even the gold in your teeth.
Anything particular you're looking for?
Bro.
Okay, let me know if you have a question.
People will pawn anything they can when they're desperate for dollars. David Cardinale is getting back the jewelry he pawned after paying off a loan and the 25% monthly interest fee.
They give me a fair deal on my stuff that I pawn, and the interest is not too bad, so it works for me. It doesn't work for a lot of people, but it works for me.
For Jason Thimpson, it's not working quite as well. Jason was able to keep his camcorder from being sold by paying the interest on a loan.
I just came in today to pay the finance charge and extend it for another month.
But he'll have to come up with a lot more money if he wants to take the camera home.
Are you worried at all that you might not see that camcorder again?
No. I'll see it again.
No sense in fooling around with this gold.
I'll give you $20 for it.
$20? It's worth at least $100.
Maybe it is, but not to me.
The classic movie The Pawnbroker did little to help the industry's image. An image, exaggerated as it may be, based on criminal activity.
No, shooting!
In the real world, iron bars on pawn shop windows and police cars patrolling the area reinforce the industry's seedy reputation portrayed by Hollywood.
Historically, less than 0.1% of the merchandise that comes in the store is ever reported stolen. It's a very, very small percentage.
Jack Hartsoe is the president of Cash and Pawn, a relatively new chain of shops determined to distance itself from the industry's stereotypes.
I don't think we're gouging the public at all. I think we're giving them a good value for their money.
Hartsoe likes to show off the retail area of his shiny new shops, but what customers see up front is only part of the story.
In the back of most shops is where they keep the merchandise that's been pawned, the stuff that customers expect to get back after paying their loans. At this store, about 70% of the people who pawn something do pay their loans. The others lose their lawnmowers or bicycles or snowmobiles forever. Jim and Michelle Cragness almost lost their car after doing business with a company called Capstone Auto Pawnbrokers. According to a civil complaint, the Cragnesses pawned the title to their station wagon for $605 because they needed rent money. But they fell behind in their payments to Capstone, and the pawnbroker had the car repossessed.
I mean, like my son had major back surgery. The day after they repossessed the car, we had to borrow a car to get back and forth from the hospital.
According to their complaint, the Cragnesses got their station wagon back after paying Capstone a total of $620, $15 more than the original loan. But they're afraid Capstone will repossess the car again because, they say, Capstone wants another $700.
So if they find out where we live, I've got a real bad feeling they're going to try to come and get the car.
Although their payment plan clearly states an annual interest rate of more than 361%, the Cragnesses claim it was never discussed.
To see for ourselves how Capstone does business, we paid a visit to the pawnbroker. In the waiting area was a motorcycle the office manager said had been repossessed. And when we asked about interest rates on their title pawns, we were told
10%.
10% a month?
Nope, 10% every 15 days.
10% every 15 days.
When we asked for more information, she pointed out a chart on the wall with annual interest rates for different size loans. The Cragnesses insist they had no idea what they were getting themselves into.
I'd never do it again. Never.
They can take you for a real ride.
Yeah.
I think what they really wanted to end up doing was owning our car. That's what I think they wanted.
Hello. How you guys doing today?
Pawn America is another of the new image-conscious pawn shop chains.
We're attracting a customer base which is not of the stereotypical pawn customer image.
Whatever type of customers the Pawn America store in Robbinsdale is attracting, some local business owners don't appreciate them.
They're just not always the most desirable looking or acting people.
Sally Duran's Gingerbread House gift shop is about a block away from Pawn America. She says groups of intoxicated young men who use foul language often hang around the pawn shop, scaring away her customers.
Women do not like to be in the presence of this kind of behavior. They are intimidated.
I've been to the store many times. I've never seen one of our customers ever harass anyone.
New neighbors often have trouble getting along. Harder still can be separating stereotypes from reality. Mark Daly, KARE 11 News.
And we want you to know we made repeated calls and even faxed the attorneys for Capstone Auto Pawnbrokers asking questions about that company's business practices. We received no response.